Liam had always trusted machines more than people. He was a freighter engineer. Working alone on the edge of space, he traveled between moons and planets, fixing broken systems, trading parts, and avoiding trouble. It was a quiet life, just the way he liked it. But this time, something went wrong. His ship, Silver Path, had just finished a delivery on a mining station on his way back to Earth space. The navigation system glitched. At first, he thought it was a simple error, a wrong star map, maybe a small jump misalignment. He didn't panic. Liam was used to fixing things. Then the alarm started. Gravity shift, fuel drain, temperature drop. The ship shuddered, spun, and finally crash-landed on a green moon he didn't recognize. When Liam stepped out of the wreckage, the first thing he noticed was the silence. No engines, no voices, no signals, just wind through thick, dark trees and the soft hum of alien insects. The sky was a deep violet, with two moons floating above. One looked cracked like it had been struck. The other was smooth and glowing. Liam pulled out his scanner. Oxygen level safe, gravity normal. But no signs of any settlements or life, at least. Not by human standards. He checked the damage on Silver Path. The communication dish was shattered. The energy core had taken a hit. Worst of all, his emergency jump beacon was dead. That meant no rescue, no call home. If he wanted to survive, he had to fix the ship himself. He set up a small shelter near the crash site, just enough to sleep, eat, and work during the nights. He used parts from broken systems to start repairs. Days passed. He stayed busy, focused, not letting fear crawl into his mind. Then, one evening, he saw her. He was working under the hull, tightening a coolant line, when he felt something. A presence, not a noise, not a shadow, just someone watching. He stood slowly and looked toward the trees. She was there, standing between two wide tree trunks. Tall, still, skin pale like starlight. Long black hair falling past her shoulders. Eyes like silver metal. She didn't move. She just watched him. Liam raised his hand. "Hello," he said. She didn't respond. He took a step forward. "I'm not a threat," he added. "I crashed here. I'm just trying to fix my ship." Still no answer. But her eyes didn't show fear, more like curiosity. She tilted her head slightly, as if studying him. Liam stood there for a moment, unsure what to do. Then the wind blew, and she turned away. Without a sound, she vanished into the forest. The next day, Liam checked the area where she had stood. No footprints, no signs of movement. Just leaves and soft dirt. Was she real? Or was he imagining things? That night, she came back. He had just finished eating some protein rations when he heard a rustle. When he turned around, she was gone. But something was there. On a flat stone near his fire, someone had placed a bowl of round, purple fruit. They weren't from his supplies, and his scanner said they were safe. He didn't eat them right away. He waited, wondering if it was a trick. But hunger won, and the fruit was sweet, with a taste like berries and honey. After that, she came almost every night. Never spoke, never came close. Just watched him, always silent, always calm. Sometimes she left fruit. Once she left a folded cloth with strange patterns. Another time, a smooth crystal that glowed faintly when he touched it. Liam started leaving things in return. A packet of dried vegetables, a small solar lamp, a sketch he made of the crash site. Still, she never spoke. One day, while repairing the outer relay, Liam found carvings in a nearby stone wall, symbols, shapes. A line showing a figure that looked human standing beside another like her. He felt something stir in his chest. Maybe he wasn't the first human here. Maybe she was waiting for someone else. That evening, he tried to speak to her again. She was standing at the edge of the firelight, her silver eyes watching the flames. "My name's Liam," he said. "Can you understand me?" She didn't reply. "I want to leave. I don't belong here. But thank you for helping." Still nothing. Just that steady gaze. Liam sighed and looked up at the stars. He felt small, lost, alone. But when he looked back down, she was gone. The next morning, he checked his systems. Most of the energy core was stable. One more part and he could try a small test run. If it worked, he could lift off, reach orbit, and maybe call for help. He felt a strange mix of hope and guilt. She had helped him. Without words, without promises, she had brought him food, comfort, quiet company. And now he was going to leave her behind. Liam walked through the trees, searching for one last piece of scrap metal he had seen days ago. He didn't see her again that day, but something told him she was still watching, still waiting, and somehow she knew he was planning to leave. Liam woke up before sunrise. The violet sky was still dark, the twin moons casting long shadows across the forest floor. He rubbed his eyes and stepped out of the shelter. The air was cool and filled with strange bird-like calls echoing from far away. He had slept poorly. Dreams of Silver Eyes watching him made him turn in his sleep. In those dreams, he always tried to speak, but no words came. She only stared, calm, quiet, and unreadable. Today, he planned to finish the scanner tower. It would help him map the nearby land. If he was lucky, he might find old ship wreckage or hidden tech that could help repair the communication system. Liam carried the tower pieces up the slope behind the crash site. The hill gave a wide view of the area. Tall trees stretched out in every direction, broken only by patches of stone ruins scattered across the land. He paused when he reached the top. Someone had been there. In the dirt, near a flat rock, were symbols, not random shapes, but careful drawings, lines, spirals, into figures. One tall, one smaller. One looked like a human. The other had a long shape behind it, maybe a tail or flowing hair. Both stood together under stars. Liam crouched and ran his fingers over the carvings. The lines were fresh. The marks hadn't been there the day before. She had drawn them. He looked around but saw no one. He stood up, set the scanner tower into the ground, and activated the small screen. The scanner beeped, then started mapping the terrain. A soft grid formed, showing the hills, the trees, and then something else below the ruins. The scanner detected chambers, tunnels, rooms buried underground. What is this place? Liam whispered. He made a mental note to check those ruins later. Back at the shelter, he worked on the ship for hours. The inner systems were stable. The core was running better than expected. With a few more parts, he could make a short flight to orbit. If he got high enough, maybe a passing ship would hear his signal. He opened a supply box to grab a wrench, and his hand paused. Inside the box was a smooth black stone. It wasn't there before. He picked it up and turned it in his hand. It was warm, not cold. A strange pulse ran through it, like a slow heartbeat. On its surface was a carving, the same symbol he saw on the hill. Liam looked toward the woods. You were here again, he said quietly. That night, he didn't work. He sat by the fire, waiting. She came at sunset. Like always, she moved silently. Her long black hair floated behind her like mist. She stopped just outside the circle of FIRELIGHT. Liam didn't speak right away. He didn't want to scare her off. Finally, he held up the stone. Did you leave this for me? She didn't nod. She didn't speak. But she stepped forward, slow and careful, until she was inside the light. The shadows danced across her pale face. Yes, she said at last. Liam blinked. Her voice was soft and calm, but firm. You can speak English? He asked. She tilted her head slightly. I listen, she said. Long time. You understand a lot. Then she looked at the ship, then back at him. Leaving? She asked. Liam hesitated. I have to, he said. My people are out there. I didn't mean to come here. It was a mistake. She didn't respond. Her eyes stayed locked on his. This place, Liam continued. What is it? Those ruins. The tunnels underground. Are there more of you? She stepped back. Her voice turned quiet again. Old home, she said. Broken, empty. You live here alone. Yes. Liam stood up and walked a few steps closer. Why help me? He asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she pointed toward the ship, then toward the hill, where the drawing had been made. Two, she said. Same. Liam shook his head slowly. I'm not like you. I'm human. She stared at him for a long time, then whispered something in her own language. It was soft, almost like a song. Then she turned and disappeared into the woods once again. The next day, Liam walked to the ruins. The walls were tall and curved, made of gray stone, worn by wind and time. He followed the carvings down into a passageway. The scanner had shown tunnels below, and he wanted to know more. Inside the ruins, it was quiet. Dust floated in the air. Faint light came from crystals in the ceiling. He saw more drawings, stories carved into the walls. A tall race, like her, standing next to humans. They shared tools. They touched hands. Some carvings showed light between them, a bright thread connecting their chests. But then the art changed. The next images showed war, fire, ships falling from the sky. The last image showed the tall being standing alone, the light broken. Liam stood in the silence of the ruins. His heart beat faster. Something big had happened here. Something forgotten, lost to time. And she was the last one left. He left the ruins in silence. That night, he didn't sleep. He stared at the stars, wondering what she meant by same. The next morning, he started preparing the ship for launch. The core was stable. Fuel levels were low, but just enough for a short liftoff. But when he opened the hatch, she was already there. Standing inside, she stepped forward slowly, looked him in the eyes, and said, "Cute." Liam froze. She walked past him, gently pushed. The hatch closed and said, "Try again." Then she sat down near the control panel and waited. Liam stared at her, confused. "What do you mean?" he asked. She tapped the black stone he had placed near the seat. "Not ready," she said. Thread still broken. Liam sat down across from her. "You're trying to stop me." She didn't answer. Instead, she smiled for the first time. It wasn't a cold smile. It was something else, a quiet challenge. "You came here," she said. "Now stay." Just a little more. Liam didn't move. He just watched her. Maybe it wasn't an accident that brought him here after all. Maybe this place had been waiting for him, or maybe she had. Liam sat frozen in his seat. The hatch door was shut, and Erin stood in front of it like a quiet guardian. Her silver eyes watched him, waiting to see what he would do next. She had spoken again. "Cute, try again." Her voice was calm, but her words carried something deeper. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a warning. It was something else. A message. Maybe a challenge. "You don't want me to leave," Liam said. I nodded once. "Why?" he asked. "I'm not from here. I don't belong." She stepped closer. Her black hair flowed over her shoulders as she looked down at the console. "This place is not only mine," she said. "It was yours too. A long time ago." Liam frowned. "Humans never lived here. We don't even have this moon on our star." "Maps?" She reached into her satchel and pulled out a flat stone. On its surface was a carving. It showed two figures, hand in hand, standing beneath the twin moons. The same symbol he had seen in the ruins. "They came before," she said, "from your skies. You forgot." "We remember." Liam took the stone from her hands and turned it slowly. "Are you saying humans came here long ago?" Erin nodded again. Liam leaned back. This wasn't the first time he had heard old stories about lost colonies or ancient human explorers reaching deep space, but no one ever had proof until now. "Then why me?" he asked. "Why stop me from leaving?" She didn't speak right away. Instead, she sat down across from him, her long legs folding beneath her in a smooth motion. "Because you carry it," she said. "Carry what?" She reached out slowly, not to touch him, but to hover her hand near his chest. "The thread." She said, "It's inside, sleeping." Liam stared at her hand, unsure what she meant. "I don't understand," he said. "Long ago," Erin began, "your kind and mine had a bond. We shared thoughts. We shared feeling. Not through speech, through something deeper. The thread. But the war came. It broke everything. Your people left. The bond went silent." She lowered her hand. "Now, something wakes. When you came, I felt it." Liam stood and walked a few steps away. He looked out the small window of the ship. The forest beyond moved gently in the wind, the same forest where she had appeared. Always watching, always silent. Until now, I'm just a ship engineer, he said. I don't have magic. I fix wires and power cells. I don't feel anything special inside me. Erin stood too. Her face was calm, but her eyes were serious. It's not magic. It's memory. Hidden. Waiting. You are not the first, but maybe you are the one who stayed. Liam turned toward her. Others came here before. Yes, some landed. Some saw the ruins. None stayed. The thread stayed broken, and you've been here all. This time, she gave a small nod. I was born after the fall, raised to guard the thread, trained to wait. Liam walked over to a panel and touched the screen. The ship systems were almost ready. He could leave. He could reach orbit. He could find his way back to human space. But he hesitated. Why didn't you speak before? He asked. You were not ready, she said. He looked back at her. And now I am? She gave a small smile. You tried to leave, and still you stayed. That means you are not like the others. Liam sat down again. His thoughts were spinning. A deep part of him wanted to leave, to go home. But another part, something strange and quiet, was pulling him to stay. Erin walked to the center of the ship and placed the black stone on the floor. She sat across from it and closed her eyes. What are you doing? Liam asked. Come, sit, she said. Liam hesitated, then walked over and sat down opposite her. Close eyes, she said. He did. Breathe, she whispered. Slow. Feel. Liam breathed in. The hum of the ship faded. The warmth of the forest air filled his lungs. He heard nothing but his heartbeat. Then something strange happened. He felt her, not with his hands or his eyes, but inside, a soft wave, like a whisper across his thoughts. Not words, not images, just a presence. It was gentle, watching, curious. He opened his eyes. Arn's silver eyes were open too. She looked at him calmly. You felt it, she said. I think I did, he replied. The thread is weak, but it lives, she said. You can't go now. Not until it grows. Liam stood again and walked back to the control panel. He stared at the launch switch. His fingers hovered over it. One press and he could rise into the sky. One push and he could leave all of this behind. He lowered his hand. Maybe I don't want to leave. Yet, he said quietly. Erin gave a slow nod. She didn't smile this time. Her face was calm, steady. There's more, she said. Beneath the ruins. The core. It waits. What is the core? Liam asked. The heart of the thread. Buried when the war came. Protected by tests, traps. Only those who carry the thread can open it. And you've never opened it? I tried. But I'm only half. Alone. I cannot pass. With you. We might. Liam stepped away from the console. He looked at her. Truly looked. She was not just strange or mysterious. She was patient. She had waited for someone like him, not to follow, but to stand beside her. All right, he said. Show me the way. Erin stood, her expression unchanged. But something in her eyes sparkled for a moment. We go at first light, she said. Liam nodded. That night, he didn't work on the ship. He didn't check systems or tighten bolts. He sat by the fire, the black stone in his hand, and watched the stars. He didn't feel lost anymore. He felt like he had taken the first step into something older than memory, something waiting to be. Awakened. And beside him, just beyond the light, she watched, not as a stranger, but as someone who had waited long enough. The morning sky was soft and blue-gray when Liam followed Erin into the forest. The trees stood tall and quiet. Dew covered the leaves, and the air was fresh. Neither of them spoke. There was no need. Their silence was not cold, it was peaceful. Something between them had changed. They moved through the forest like shadows, past the broken stone paths and vine-covered walls. The ruins stretched wide across the ground, but Erin led him to a place he hadn't seen before. A circular stone platform lay hidden under thick moss. Erin stopped at its edge and knelt down. She brushed her fingers over the surface, revealing symbols carved into the stone. Liam stepped closer and recognized the drawings. Human shapes. Alien shapes. The glowing line, the thread between them. This is the gate, she said quietly. To what? Liam asked. To the core, Erin replied. She pressed her hand into the center of the circle. The stone didn't move at first. Then a soft hum began. Faint light ran along the carvings, forming a ring of slow-moving symbols, with a deep sound. The platform split into 3 parts and sank into the ground, revealing a spiral stairway beneath. Liam felt a chill. Has anyone else ever gone down there? He asked. Erin looked at him. Only once, she said. My teacher. She never returned. Liam glanced down the stairs. They were steep and dark, but not silent. Somewhere below, he heard a soft hum, like a sleeping machine breathing in the deep. Is it safe? He asked. No, Erin replied. But it is the only path. Without waiting, she started down. Liam followed, gripping the walls as the steps narrowed. The light from above slowly faded, and soft crystals glowing on the walls took over. They walked for a long time. The air grew cooler. The stone grew smoother. It was clear that this place had once been carefully built, not just carved out of rock, but shaped by design. At last, the stairway ended. Before them stood a wide hall made of dark stone, the walls covered in flowing lines that looked like rivers. But they didn't move. They pulsed. The thread lives here, Erin said. They stepped forward, and the ground beneath them reacted to their presence. Lights lit up under their feet with every step, showing a path through the massive room. Liam stopped in front of a large wall covered in carvings. Unlike the ones outside, these were clear and detailed. They showed history. He read them like a story. The first part showed humans and Arn's people meeting for the first time. They reached for each other, not in fear but in wonder. Then the thread appeared between them, glowing between their hearts. The next part showed them building something together. Towers, ships, a city that floated in the sky. But the third part changed everything. A large crack split the wall. Warships, fire, and broken pieces of the thread scattered across the carvings. People turned against each other. One side left in ships. The other stayed, their faces full of sorrow. Liam stepped back. They left, he said. Erin nodded. Your kind forgot, ours remembered. But the memory turned into silence. And this place? This is the last part of the thread. The heart, the core. If it wakes, maybe the bond can return. Liam felt something heavy settle in his chest. Why now? He asked. She turned to him. Because you're here. At the end of the hall stood a door shaped like an arch. Strange lights circled it like stars. Erin walked forward, but the lights turned red. She stepped back. I cannot enter alone, she said. The core only opens to 2 who share the thread. Liam walked forward, stood beside her, and looked at the door. What do I do? Place your hand with mine, she said. They both reached out. Her hand was cool, but her touch was steady. Together, they placed their hands on the center of the arch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a strong wind rushed through the hall. The door glowed bright white, and the stars around it shifted into a spiral. Liam felt pressure in his chest, like something deep inside was being pulled forward. A voice echoed in the air, not from speakers, but from the stones themselves. Thread signal detected. Dual pattern recognized. Entry allowed. The door slid open. Inside was a round chamber. The floor glowed with light. In the center stood a floating crystal, the size of a heart. It spun slowly in the air, humming with energy. This is it, Erin whispered. Liam stepped forward. His heartbeat matched the rhythm of the crystal's hum. What do we do now? He asked. The core tests those who enter, she said. Not with strength, with memory. The moment she finished speaking, the light around them shifted. The chamber changed. Liam blinked and found himself standing on the deck of a space station. Not just any station. It was the one he had worked on 2 years ago, a human colony outpost. But it was wrong. The lights were red, alarms rang. Smoke filled the air. He turned and saw his old captain shouting orders, a hull breach. He remembered this. He also remembered how he had run. Fear had taken him. He had left others behind. He had never forgiven himself for that. Now the memory played out again. But this time he couldn't move. He was forced to watch his own fear. Then a voice came through the smoke, calm, not angry. You left because you thought no one would follow. But now, someone does. Liam turned. Erin stood beside him, the memory fading around her like fog. You? See, she said. The thread shows the truth. Not to punish, to reveal. Liam took a deep breath. You see my weakness. I see your choice. But I also see what you became after. The room shifted again. This time, Erin stood alone in a large chamber, smaller and younger. A tall figure knelt before her, their face filled with pain. You must stay, the figure said. I don't want to, young Erin whispered. You were born for this. The figure faded. Erin turned to Liam. I never wanted to be alone, she said. But I stayed. They looked at each other in the silence that followed. Then the chamber lit up again. The floating crystal pulsed once, twice, then slowly turned gold. The voice returned. Thread restored. Bond active. The pressure faded. The vision vanished. Liam and Erin stood again in the real chamber. The crystal floated between them, now, calm and bright. It worked, Liam whispered. Erin looked at him. Her voice was soft. It's just the beginning. The light from the crystal filled the chamber with a soft golden glow. Liam stood still, watching it turn slowly in the air. The hum it gave off was calm now, like the deep rhythm of a peaceful heartbeat. Erin stood beside him, her silver eyes reflecting the light. Neither of them spoke for a moment. They had seen each other's memories. Not just pictures or thoughts, but feelings, pain, fear, and loneliness, but also courage and hope. Liam placed his hand over his chest. It felt warm. He could still feel the connection, the thread. It wasn't just a line of energy. It was something deeper, something alive between them. What happens now? Liam asked quietly. The thread is open, Erin said. The bond is real. We are linked now. He looked at her carefully. Can you feel what I'm feeling? She nodded. Not every thought, but the emotions, yes. He stepped back and looked around the chamber. The carvings on the walls were glowing now. More symbols were waking up. The story wasn't finished. There was still more to learn. We need to leave this place, Erin said. The core is awake, but danger comes with it. Liam turned sharply. Danger? She pointed toward the glowing lines on the wall. One symbol showed a large machine. It had no face, only sharp angles and a dark center. Beams of light came from its arms. Around it were broken ships and fallen towers. What is it? Liam asked. The Protector. Erin replied, a machine built long ago to stop the thread from falling into the wrong hands. When the war began, it was turned against both sides. It cannot tell friend from enemy anymore. Only one rule remains. Stop the thread from spreading. Liam's eyes narrowed. If it senses the bond is active again, it will come. She finished. They left the chamber in silence. The stairs felt longer on the way up, like the weight of what had happened made every step heavier. The sky was bright by the time they reached the surface. A cool wind moved through the trees. Liam looked around the ruins, now glowing faintly under the sunlight. Will it come here? Yes, Erin said, and it will not stop. They returned to the ship. Liam checked the power systems again. The core was strong. The engine could lift them, but not far. The ship was built for slow travel, not battle. We can't fight it, he said. We don't have weapons. We don't need weapons, Erin said. We need the thread. Liam gave her a look. You mean this bond between us can stop a machine that destroyed cities? She stepped closer. The Protector was made to destroy imbalance, fear, anger, war. It reacts to minds. It feels. That is how it chooses its target. Liam thought about that for a moment. So, if we face it with the thread strong, if we're calm, steady, it may listen, Erin said. Or it may test us. He paced for a few moments, hands on his hips. This wasn't part of the plan. I came here by mistake. I just wanted to fix my ship and leave. You can still leave, Erin said. Now, Liam looked up. Is that what you want? She didn't answer at first. Then she stepped closer. No, I want you to stay. Not because of the thread. Because of you. Liam felt the truth in her voice, and through the bond. He felt her fear to not fear of the protector, but fear of being alone again. He gave a slow nod. Then we face it. Together, they spent the rest of the day preparing. Aaron took him to another part of the ruins, where she showed him a device hidden inside a stone column. It looked like a small console made from metal and crystal. This is the signal post, she explained. When the thread wakes, this device calls to the protector. So it's already coming, Liam said. Yes, she replied. But we can send a message first, a warning. Liam touched the console. It lit up under his hand. A soft hum passed through his skin. The connection between him and Aaron glowed again. Send it, he said. Aaron pressed her hand beside his. The console made a deep sound, then sent out a pulse of golden light into the sky. It vanished beyond the clouds. They returned to the crash site as the sun began to set. The forest grew quiet. Even the wind seemed to stop. Liam stood outside the ship, looking at the sky. How will we know when it's near? We'll feel it, Aaron said. Night fell slowly. Stars filled the sky. The twin moons rose high above. Liam sat near the fire, Aaron beside him. They didn't talk much. Words weren't needed anymore. Then, the ground shook. Liam stood. A deep hum moved through the earth like thunder. The trees bent. Leaves fell. A distant blue light appeared on the horizon. It's here, Aaron said. They stood side by side, watching the light grow brighter. It wasn't flying. It was moving along the ground fast and smooth. Then the forest opened. The protector entered the ruins. It was tall, almost twice Liam's height, with long limbs and a round body covered in shining black metal. Blue lights pulsed from its core. It didn't walk like a human. It floated. Gliding just above the ground. It stopped in front of them. The blue light scanned both of them from head to toe. Liam swallowed hard. His legs felt weak. Aaron reached for his hand. He took it. The bond lit again. A line of light formed between them, pulsing like a heartbeat. The protector tilted its head. Thread detected. It said in a deep voice, "State your purpose." Liam stepped forward. "We seek peace. We seek memory. We seek truth." The machine paused. "Your bond is unstable. Trial required." Suddenly, the world around them faded. They stood not in the ruins, but in a strange space. A circle of floating stone. Stars all around. A test had begun. Liam blinked as the world around him shifted into something unknown. The forest, the ship, the stars, everything was gone. Now, he stood on a floating stone platform surrounded by open space. The sky was filled with endless stars, slowly moving. As if time itself had slowed down. Beside him stood Aaron. Her hand was still in his. The bond between them glowed like a golden thread. Connecting their hearts, the voice of the protector echoed through. The space trial begins. Truth will guide you. Doubt will break you. Liam turned in place, for tall stone arches rose around them, each marked with a different glowing symbol. One looked like fire, one like water, one like a spiral, and one like an eye. Each arch pulsed softly, calling for them to choose. Aaron took a breath. This is the trial of the thread. We must face the parts of ourselves we hide. Only together can we pass. Liam nodded. Then let's go. They stepped through the first arch. The one marked with the spiral of space shifted again. Now they stood in a burning field. Black smoke filled the air. Screams echoed in the distance. It was a battlefield. Liam recognized. I dropped to his knees. This was my last mission, the one that went wrong. Flames roared across the sky. Broken ships and wounded soldiers lay around him. Aaron watched in silence as Liam relived the memory. I gave the wrong order, he said. 3 people died because I panicked. I froze. I didn't know what to do. The fire seemed to grow louder, feeding on his guilt. Aaron stepped forward and knelt beside him. You made a mistake, but you came back. You kept going. That is strength, not failure. Her voice reached him through the memory. The fire began to fade. The smoke cleared. The field turned silent again. Scene faded, and they returned to the star-filled space. The second arch opened. The one marked with water. No, they stood in a large white chamber. This one belonged to Aaron. Her younger self stood at the center, surrounded by tall figures in robes. She looked small and frightened. They told me I was broken. Aaron said softly that my bond would never work, that I was too quiet, too strange. Liam watched the figures speak coldly to her. They turned away, leaving her alone. I believed them, Aaron whispered. So I ran. I hid in the ruins. I waited for time to forget me. Liam walked to her and took her hand again. They were wrong. You're stronger than they ever knew. The chamber lightened. The younger Aaron smiled for a brief moment. Then the vision vanished, shed back in the stars again. Liam felt the bond between them grow warmer, stronger. The golden thread pulsed like a steady drumbeat. Third arch opened. The one with the fire symbol. They entered a desert world under a blood-red sky. Harsh winds blew across the dunes. A single figure stood at the top of a hill. It was Liam again. But different. This version wore dark armor and held a weapon in his hand. His face looked tired and cold. He's the part of me that stopped believing, Liam said. The part that thought running away was easier. The other Liam raised the weapon and pointed it at him. You're too late, the copy said. You can't fix what's already broken. Liam stepped forward without fear. Maybe I can't fix the past, but I can choose not to be like you. The fake Liam vanished into dust. The desert turned silent and placed her hand on Liam's chest. The bond didn't make you strong. It revealed your strength. The space shifted again. Only one arch remained, now the one with the eye they passed through. And this time, they were floating in darkness. There was no ground beneath them, only emptiness. The bond flickered. Darren looked around. Her voice tense. This is the space between. Liam held her hand tighter. I'm still here. Don't let go. From the darkness, a shadow moved toward them. It had no clear form. It was made of fear, shaped by doubt. It wrapped around the bond and tried to pull them apart, separate them. The voice of the protector said, test their unity. The thread began to stretch. Aaron winced. Liam felt the pressure in his chest like a heavy weight. Shadow whispered into their minds. She doesn't trust you. You will leave her. He doesn't need you. He wants freedom. Liam gritted his teeth. He turned to Aaron and spoke with full truth. I didn't choose this bond. But now that I have it, I won't let go. Not unless you want me to. Aaron closed her eyes and focused. I trust you, even if I'm afraid. Their bond pulsed once. Strong and pure. The shadows screamed and broke apart like smoke suddenly. They were back on the stone platform. All four arches had gone dark. The protector appeared again, floating above them. Its voice was no longer cold. Trial complete. Unity confirmed. Thread stabilized. Liam felt the bond now like a shield over his heart. Aaron's presence inside his mind felt calm. Instead, the protector lowered its arms. The thread has not fallen into chaos. You are not threats. You are guardians. Liam stepped forward. Then let us pass. Let us leave this world in peace. The protector paused. You may go. But know this, the thread is part of you now. You carry more than memory. You carry balance. With that, the machine turned and vanished in a flash of blue light. The stone platform faded. The stars disappeared. Liam and Aaron opened their eyes to find themselves back near the ship. The morning sun was rising through the trees. The air smelled cleanly. And breathed deeply and looked at Aaron. Did it really happen? She nodded. Yes. The bond is complete. You passed the test. Liam looked up at the sky. So now what? Aaron smiled softly. Now we choose where to go. The forest was quiet under the soft morning light. Birds sang far away, and the twin moons were faint but still visible in the pale sky. Liam and Aaron stood side by side near the ship, their hands still linked by the thread of glowing, golden connection between their hearts. Liam looked at the ship's hull. It was still damaged but repairable. The engines hummed faintly with renewed power. He knew he could fix it and leave the moon behind. Go back to his home among the stars. But something inside him held back. Aaron watched him closely, her silver eyes calm and patient. What are you thinking? She asked out. Liam took a deep breath. I thought I wanted to leave the moment I crashed here, fix the ship, send a signal, and fly home. He smiled sadly. But now, I don't know. I don't think I want to leave. Yet, Aaron's smile was soft but full of meaning. I feel the same. For so long, she had waited alone on this broken world, guarding the thread and the memories of her people. Now, She wasn't alone anymore. Liam sat on a fallen log, the golden thread glowing faintly between them. Before all this, he said slowly, I was just a man who fixed machines. I never thought about destiny or ancient bonds. Aaron nodded. And now I know there is more to the universe than we can see, more that connects us all. She looked at him. The thread is that connection. It is not just history. It is the future. Liam stood and stretched his arms. We have a choice. Yes, Aaron agreed. We can repair the ship and leave, or we can stay and rebuild. He looked around. At the ruins, the trees, the quiet hills. The place was old and broken, but it held secrets and stories, a future waiting to be written. Stay, he said quietly. Help me learn this world. Help me understand the thread. Aaron took his hand again. I will. The sun climbed higher, warming the air. Liam began unpacking tools and parts. Aaron joined him, her hands steady as she helped. Together, they worked side by side, repairing circuits and engines. When the sun set, the ship was stronger than before. Not perfect, but ready. Liam sat near the fire, watching the stars emerge one by one. Aaron sat beside him. She said, I never thought I would find someone like you, someone who understands the thread. Liam smiled. Maybe I was meant to find you. She laughed softly. Maybe for the next days. They explored the ruins together. Liam recorded carvings and symbols. Aaron explained what she remembered, the history of her people, the bond with humans, the war that broke everything. They discovered old machines buried under the earth. Some still worked. Some whispered secrets of the past. With each day, Liam felt the thread grow stronger. It was not just between him and Aaron, but spread through the land, through the memories waiting to be awakened. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Liam asked, what if others come? Humans who do not know the thread. Aaron's eyes shone. Then we will be ready. We will welcome them. Teach them. Liam nodded. A new beginning. Time passed. Seasons changed. The forest grew greener. The ruins became a place of life again. One morning, a small ship appeared on the horizon. Liam and Aaron stood together, the thread bright between them. The ship landed nearby. From it came a group of explorers, humans curious and hopeful. Liam stepped forward and smiled. Welcome, he said. You are not alone. Aaron Silver. Eyes met theirs. We share a bond, a thread. It connects us all. The explorers listened, amazed. And as the moon watched over them, Liam knew the choice was right. He had come as a lost traveler, but stayed as a guardian of something greater. The thread was alive, and so was the future.